Hey there, guys. How's it going? We're here for another episode of the Gitcast. Hi, Jim.
Hello.
Hello. Bloop, bloop. Yeah, today's episode we'll be covering more on the G36C. I know we covered it a little bit last episode, but I want to go over it more and just assault rifles in general,
Yeah.
and more about the metas and why it got nerfed recently. Really. Um, and I guess more why it shouldn't have gotten nerfed. We'll get to that when we get to that. We also
I
have
have opinions on that.
we both do. Um, we also have a list of trap operators in front of us, and today we're going to be going over by like what they're best at and what their main uses should be for, and just really
Especially
what
in
works with each
the
other.
especially in the current climate of Siege. I'm sure everybody has been in a lobby where uh, the round is over in the first 30 seconds.
Yep.
There was no Siege gameplay. It was just we're in 2008 and you're in an Xbox lobby on that one map in Modern Warfare 1 with the missile silos. I'm forgetting its name.
I want to know it. I didn't play Modern Warfare One.
The original one, not the
Yeah, yeah.
the
PS, I'm a Halo kid. Um, fucking. But if you look on any fucking like ACJ or Bikini Body tweet, and like I don't know, half of them will be about, oh wow, the round is over 30 seconds in, and I'm like, yep, that's just currently that's the current climate. That's how it is.
that's just the culture of Siege right now.
And it's just the culture of video games, really, and a lot of video games that take time to play.
Yeah. But
Which Call of Duty,
with
oh Stinky.
with with the TDM, they're, they're within the current game and within previous seasons as well. There have been some outliers in terms of their use. And currently, what we're looking at here is two of the really, really prevalent people that are getting played on the attack. Uh, Ace, he got his Selma's nerfed. So they take, if I remember correctly, it was went
Three
from
point
3.2
3.2 to
seconds
4.
to 4. So it's a little bit easier to trick against them.
Oh hello, that's actually
They're
open now.
still they're still really versatile. They're still the fastest way to get the wall open. It's still the most efficient way to get the wall open. Um, at least compared to, uh, Hibana, a lot of setup time, but very versatile. Primarily good for hatches. Uh, Thermite takes them a little bit longer, but entire wall's gone. You only need to do it once.
Mm-hmm.
You get it right once, the wall's gone, walk in. Smoke it, walk, plant. Classic. But uh Ace, he's getting his shit nerfed. But the other person, the subject of today, or at least partially the subject of today, is Ash. And the nerf to the G36 that has gone live recently.
So real quick, the first question I will bring up to you
Yes.
is if the G3060 wasn't the issue in the first place. I mean, it kind of is, but there's a reason it is that goes beyond, should it be nerfed. Uh, in any case, if the G30 if the G3060 isn't the issue with Ash and Diana, then why are we banning them? Why is that our main focus?
Well, whenever we were banning Iana, I I was annoyed by the G36 as well. All right,
Yep.
one G36 1.5. It's a good gun,
Hmm.
but my primary issue with the G36 on Iana was the combination of G36 1.5 frag grenades and infinite intel,
Yep.
infinite drone. That was my primary concern in regards to Iana. Even if the Iana decided, hey, I'm going to play Siege today, they are a really good operator. Still a
Yeah,
good operator.
still has a great kit, especially with the Gon 6 now.
Still a great kit. Has the Gon 6.
Smokes or flashes, take your pick. Both are great.
ARX hits hard. She has the ARX, right?
Yeah, she does.
Yeah. Okay. Don't know
You wouldn't
why I
know, right?
doubted myself. Don't know why I doubted myself. I
Because you
usually,
only ever see one gun on her.
yeah, you wouldn't know. I'm pretty sure I run ARX
I like to as
on.
well.
I like the heavy hitting gun,
It's
but
fun. I just, it's problem. My problem with Yana and the ARX is that the ARX does not have a 1.5,
yeah,
which
that's
was part of one of their past solutions was to take that and actually I think it was just a 1.5.
yeah,
I don't think she ever had the 2 times like no bad, but they took away
mhm,
the 1.5 for the ARX because stinky. Um,
yeah,
in any case, they wanted to do that so that the G36 would be a more popular item, but
yeah.
now the G36E is too popular.
Hmm.
And really the solution there is, uh, I don't think it was necessarily the recoil. I think it should have just been the 1.5, and
Well,
then
see, you're bringing
yeah,
something up that I actually wanted to talk about.
yes,
You see, they wanted to make one of the options more desirable, but in doing so, they made it far more desirable because it was just a better option. Having a better option is not a bad thing. You know, ha- there is, an argument to be made for different characters should have different guns. Most people are going to run Oryx with a T5, right?
yep.
But
I'm silly and I run Spaz 12,
but
which is still a
I
great option.
it's still a good option, but you have to admit that the T5 is objectively a better option. Is it more fun? That's up to the player. I personally think that the Spas is more fun because sprinting at Mach 5 with a shotgun is fun.
Yep,
Running double shotgun on Oryx is stupid and fun,
it
and
is
it
awesome.
still works. It's not that it doesn't work, but one option is better than the other. The ARX is a good gun, but the G36 is still the better gun out of the two. Why would I not run the G36? I believe that the G36 is going to become the next F2. It's going to become the next R4C. It's going to be the next Jaeger. That's my issue with this.
I don't
That's my
even.
issue with the G36 being nerfed. It is not a gun issue. The gun itself, I believe, is not the problem here because this is an issue of gameplay. This is an issue of climate.
I don't.
This happened to Jaeger. This happened to Twitch.
So more on this and more just on assault rifles in general. Um, Assault rifles have been really weak for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
LMGs were the meta way back when because
Mm-hmm.
like what, a year ago, 2 years ago,
I
before
think.
the big ass recoil change. I think that was
Yeah.
a Grimsky.
Yeah, that was grim.
No,
What?
it was
Not.
wait, no, it was Grim. It was Grim because they also changed the damage and stuff and made the all the attachments universal.
I
Um,
remember it made Sens usable.
yes. Actually, wait, no, it made Sens worse, and then
Did
they
it?
buffed Sens solely.
Oh, right. That's what
Yeah,
happened.
that was a few seasons later. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm getting ahead of myself. Uh, so assault rifles have been underpowered for a while.
Hmm.
Uh,
They've always been underpowered.
yeah, if you're looking at if you're looking at these deltas, you can see that Finka and Zofia are both really high on the win deltas right now, but not picked very often. That is partially because Zofia is just fat and doesn't fit with the rush meta,
Hmm.
while the 7.62 is okay. I don't love using it, but it's not the worst option out there. But in any case, that's just the thing with all assault rifles right now, except for like the L85A2 and that G36C, and also the AK-12. We won't look at Fuse because again, that and also he's just not
There's
as
A's.
applicable for pushing objective as Sophia is. In any case, L85A2, G36C. Those are probably the two most powerful rifles that we'll talk about. And only one of them is being nerfed because the other one is on two of the fat operators. Isn't that
Yeah.
crazy? Um, that's why the G36C got recoil nerfed. I think it's more an issue of it shouldn't be recoil. It should have been 1.5, or the fact that other assault rifles need to be brought to the same standard.
See, I don't think that the gun is the issue
Mm-hmm.
because what I'm seeing here, like I said it before, this is becoming another Twitch. This is becoming another Jaeger. Jaeger, Jaeger's 416 has been, and Jaeger in general as well, has just been constantly nerfed every single patch that comes through. There is something talking about how Jaeger is being picked 95, 75, 80, whatever amount of matches when there was never an addressment of why Jaeger was being picked that much. It had nothing to do with his gun. It had everything to do with, at the current time, Jaeger was very powerful because of the climate. He was good because of the culture of the game and the meta at the time. Now, we're in a state where people stopped playing Jaeger because for two big reasons. One, it fucking sucks to play Jaeger.
I fucking hate playing that, dude.
I freaking hate playing Jaeger,
I've
which is
tried
why I only play I don't play Jaeger anymore. I play Wamai.
I've tried playing Jaeger recently. I think you've seen, but
Mhm.
it's just rough. The 416 fucking sucks. It's tough to play Jaeger, but also he's kind of really useful because he's the only person who can do what he does effectively.
Yeah.
To
Wamai
his
he
effectiveness.
fulfills somewhat Wamai fills a similar role, but one is displacement and the other is straight up deletion. One of them is going to be better a majority of the time.
Talk about Wamai more specifically later.
Yeah. We'll talk about
Um,
Wamai more later, yeah.
it'll be towards
Ugh.
the end of this episode if you're still interested in that. Same with
Uh,
Alibi.
and
Holy shit, Alibi, hello.
they fucked Jaeger over really hard with his 416 to the point that there is no reason you should be using it. You should be using the M870 and the pistol.
Pistol is your
That's
only
what
option anyway, so.
that's really your only option.
Yeah.
But that's how you play Jaeger now. And it's not and the problem was never with the gun. The Siege is really weird with its balancing decisions because
They only ever look
in
at the charts now. They never actually
yeah,
look at like gameplay.
they don't look at gameplay. They don't look at what people are saying. They just look at this delta. They just look at the whatever stupid data that they have and they think that changing the recoil on the gun is going to change anything. No, the gun is never the problem. Maybe back in the LMG meta, the gun was the problem. But
Well, no, actually, even then, LMG meta, the LMGs were not the issue. Because
actually, no,
remember,
you're right. Because originally
remember
the
they were not
LMGs
the meta
only became
before.
prevalent because they kept nerfing the assault rifles.
Exactly.
But that still feeds into my argument here. It's never about the gun. It's
Mhm.
about the operators. The only reason that everybody was using the LMGs before is because the assault rifles sucked. The only reason that people are using the G36 right now is because the R4C sucks. The only reason that they're using the G36 is because the ARX doesn't have that 1.5. It's objectively better.
Yep.
Why wouldn't we use the objectively better option? Because the other option is just objectively worse, and I want to, have a good chance. There is no real use case for using the ARX besides aesthetic and style, which is the same thing, I guess. It's just aesthetic if you use the ARX or you use the R4C.
Right. I will
Like you're
say
handicapping yourself.
with Ash specifically, what I would have done for her, or I guess more against her with this past update, if I wanted the G36C to be a less viable option to make me, decide, do I want to use the R4C or the G36? I would have just taken away the 1.5. That was the only change it needed because both of her options are good for her in the way that, they fit with her identity as a Russian attacker. She is supposed to be a rush operator. You're not supposed to be worrying about, playing siege too much. You're just supposed to, push in with that fucking breach charge and get the fuck in there.
I mean,
Um,
it's less that Ash is like a rush operator. She fits into the role of rush very well, but she is an entry.
yeah.
Like I think it's bad to say that she is a rush operator. I think that gives the wrong connotation.
Well,
She is an entry operator.
however, her main thing is to open the hole and get in there, get that first frag, and also get some extra intel whenever you're getting that frag. She's a duelist, essentially, if you want to take it in a fucking Valorant
Yeah, if you
terms.
want to take if you want Valorant
That's why she worked.
vocabulary.
That's why she worked really well with flashbangs, and that's why she doesn't really work well with like claymores, because all the options that they've been giving her lately, she has breach charges and claymores now, I believe.
Uh,
It might be smokes. No, I'm pretty sure it's claymores and breach charges. Um,
let's see here. She has Breach and Claymore.
yep, correct. Um, both of those options, she said breach charges for forever, and I think
Yep.
that's a good thing for her to have. The flashbangs were powerful with her. I think that smokes would be better, but the claymores really don't fit her role. But that's part of the weird thing that Ash fits into, where I don't think she should have a 1.5. I think she should lose that, gain back either smokes or flashbangs, lose the claymore, because the claymore is specifically an option for siege players. Like, I would run a claymore on Brava. I'd run a claymore on Kali. I wouldn't run a breach charge on Kali because I already have the tools to deal with most things that require a breach charge, unless it's a soft wall.
Now, here's something that I want to raise about
Mm-hmm.
this. Are we applying a idea are we applying the role of the rush operator to Ash because that is what her intent is, or is that just because that's what she has been good at lately?
That
I mean,
is
she's always been good at getting in there, but that's why I'm saying I don't think it's entirely accurate and it's not entirely correct to say that Ash is a rush operator. That's why I want to differentiate it between she is an entry because Ash saw a lot of use in the Ash saw a lot of use in the utility meta where it was very slow. Ash was not face checking. Ash's purpose at that point was gadget destruction. She had these charges that she could use to either get through the wall or she could get through the barricade. She could get through the castle. She could get through the She could get through the bulletproof camera. She could get through the shield. That was her purpose back then. I think that she is a duelist. I agree with you there. Using Valorant terminology, she was a duelist. She was there for the 1v1. She gets her pick. However, I think that doesn't denote what her role is.
well, still, while entry rush, whatever you may call it, it has always been a very clear rule for Ash that you are supposed to be in the action.
Yes,
Having a
I
claymore,
could
having
agree with
that
that.
1.5, having that range, having Ash sit in the back is a fucking weird move.
But see, that's not what the claymore is for. The claymore is your flank watch, and
Yeah.
it's not perfect
But
because they can shoot it, but
that's
that's an
an
audio cue.
it's another thing though. Someone else can do it. Part of the thing about Siege is having that
But
team
that's
play aspect. Having someone else like saying, "Hey, can you set a claymore right here real quick for me?" While I push ahead, clear out, maybe get some intel real quick. That is Ash's role. That has always been her role since the very beginning. She's never moved on from being a 3 speed and has never had less than 2 charges in her breaching thing. It has always breached barricades, shields, everything. It's always done what it's needed to do to get her in there or someone else in there. She's either a entry or entry instigator, where maybe she'll open it for a blitz who's about to push in. Of course, you have to keep some distance because you don't want to get hurt by the breaching ground. But Ash is at her core a rushing operator. Having any version of 1.5 is wrong for her. And I think that she was at her healthiest when she only had combat sights on both guns. Because
Well, I want
also,
to raise you this as well,
yeah.
talking about, Ash needing that help. Say it's like say it's a 2v1 situation.
Mm-hmm. Is it
Uh
2v1 with her and another,
yeah,
or her
yeah, like
against two
like like
others?
like let's say it's a Cav versus an Ash and a Blitz.
Okay.
So soft wall into objective. No cams, no audio because they're quiet. We don't know where the Cav is.
Mm-hmm.
So both the Blitz and the Ash decide, hey, we're going to bust through this wall. We're going to make noise. And Blitz, you're going to find him. Ash charge the wall. Blitz prepares. And then Blitz gets shot in the back of the head. And then you flick over, wondering how the hell did he die? And you see that the Cav flanked. There is a purpose for the Claymores.
Well, of course
The
there is.
clay the I think that, having those breaching charges is nice. I don't think that you should discount the use of the claymores on an operator like Ash.
It's not that I'm
That
discounting
is
the use
uh,
of the Claymore specifically. Sorry. Um,
no, you're fine.
it's that Siege is, it's not always that 2v1. It is a 5v5 game. And if your entire team pushes in early and gets to that point, like, it also depends on how much time there is left in the round. If your team is already down to a fucking 2v1 against a Cav, I don't think that the team prepped well enough on attack. I think that having, like, I don't know, two people with claymores, because you know claymore stack in twos.
Mhm.
Having four fucking claymores is power. That is huge. If your team could get in there, and I'm thinking think cafe, uh
Right
second
in my
floor,
brain. Hmm.
reading room,
Hmm.
and the hallway by train.
Yes.
Have one claymore there.
Right.
Have another claymore, if you can manage within reading room, on that main door that leads to a white staircase.
Right.
Uh, have a claymore on the rotate hole if there is a rotate hole.
Right.
But this is your assuming that, again, your two people with claymores survive the push, and also assuming at this point in time Clash does not have claymores. Um, Ash technically should already be dead by this point. My point is Ash should never be the last person alive. That's that's just what I think. I think she should
You
be
see,
droned in and then she
what
should
you've
push.
said is a reasonable sentence, but something about it doesn't sit right with me.
I know it's
what you've
rough,
what
but
you've said is reasonable. I get what you're thinking. I get what you're saying. I don't like
Siege
the
is,
sentence though.
I know, but think about it. Siege is a strategy game, like chess. Sometimes in chess you have to sacrifice the pawn, the rook, the knight, the queen, anything except the king. The king in this case is that motherfucking lunchbox. That bitch cannot do fucking anything. You just have to make
you
sure it is where it needs to be.
you better make sure that that boy is check and made.
So my point is, by all means, Ash is kind of a pawn. Um, you want her to get in there, make a hole, make some noise, find some people, hopefully end some people, and then at that point you play out the rest of the match from there. Obviously, the drone is good pre-intel. I always think that she should be droned in. Um, in any case, like, even if it takes, like, I don't know, 30 seconds into the round, if you're at 2:30 on time and you
Mhm.
start your push, I think that is fine, as long as you know where everything is. Twitch would be great for this. Twitch has claymores. Um,
Oh man, Twitch, poor Twitch.
I know, right?
Speaking
But
of
but
operators that got shafted,
think about Twitch 417.
417
On
is
the
a
other
good
side
point.
from Ash, she is the one who should be in the back. Twitch is a perfectly fine person to be the last one alive.
Mm-hmm.
Monty is another person to have the last one alive. You
Yep.
know, uh, whether or not you're taking into account shield rework, which hasn't been put in live yet, But I mean, I can't wait until it does.
I cannot wait.
Oh my God, it's gonna be so good. In any case,
They're gonna open up a whole new can of
I know,
worms if
right?
they like start adding shields to people.
If your squad is Ash, Twitch, Montaigne, and fucking let's have I don't know Fairmate Thatcher. That's a common enough one. Um, Thatcher and Twitch both bring claymores. Uh, Thermite brings smokes or flashes. You know that's his thing. Montaigne has a fucking triple threat of smokes, EMPs, and hard reaches.
So he can help get the wall open,
He can
or
fill really any role,
any
while
role you
still
need
being
Monty to
just
be, he'll do it.
Montaigne. And
Yeah,
he's somewhat safe while he does these things because the shield just goes on his back. But so now the shield will be in front of him for two of his three options.
I love shield tech.
It'll be great. Um, in any case, in that ideal squad, in that very beginning game, in that first launch round of those five operators, the same thing is good. Ash is supposed to get in there, clear some space. Uh, Thermite Thatcher can assist with getting her in there, especially with Thermite Smoke. Thatcher Twitch set claymores anywhere they need to. And then Ash can get the fuck in, clear out some people. Montaigne or anybody else with diffuser can get in, put that motherfucking lunchbox down while Ash is still creating noise, or if Ash is even dead. Um, as long as you have the intel to, peek wherever she got peeked from.
Oh
If you have the
no, Ash
intel to
got
smoke
fried by the
off.
mirror.
But that's why Thermite brings the smokes.
That's what they're brings. Yeah.
And alternatively, that is also why Montaigne brings the smokes. Because that's four fucking smoke grenades.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Four
if
smoke.
you or if you have Thermite with two smokes and then Montaigne with two smokes and then Thermite with three flashbangs. Then after Ash is dead, Thermite is your new fragger.
I mean, Thermite is just a straight up fragger anyways. He's a
Thermite's great.
Chad.
I
Thermite players are Chads.
But do you get where
I
I'm really coming
never like.
from with Ash specifically and her role as what she is?
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, like
I
I agree with everything that you said. Like that is her role. That's what she's always done.
Yeah,
Like even when the game was slow, that was her job.
rush entry.
After
She has always been
after
the
she gets
fastest.
rid of the soft wall, after she gets rid of the cameras, the meatballs, and she gets rid of the ADSs and everything.
Yeah.
Once all the gadgets were gotten rid of back in the utility meta, Ash walked in
hmm
and she either fragged out or you're down a man.
Yep. But
That's
that's
just how it was.
it's always been the risk reward though, and I think that's always how it should stay. I don't think that currently the 1.5 works for her. Well, I mean it works for her obviously, but it works too well because it gives you
I
too many options as Ash. I want less options for her because she shouldn't be a Swiss Army knife. No operator in Siege should be a Swiss Army knife because it is a team-based game.
don't don't look in Gridlock's direction.
Don't I mean
Don't look in
honestly,
Gridlock's direction.
you
Her only
should.
flaw is that she's fat.
But that's also one thing that hugely takes away from her, other than,
Yeah.
both her guns having pretty low fire rates compared to like any SMG. Because more often than not, unless you're hitting the head, if you're not hitting the head, you're losing the gunfight as Gridlock. Um, it's also just, traps, but we'll get into that when we get into that.
But I hesitate to, say that Ash should have less options. I think having less options is in general bad. I just think she should have different options. The primary issue that I want to talk about with the G36 being nerfed is that with the G36 being nerfed, I haven't ran the G36, but
I tried
if
it in shooting range. It's not awful.
if the G36 is going to get nerfed, what's stopping me from continuing to play the exact same way with just a worse loadout? Like the problem isn't that it's balanced. The problem is that it's not fun.
Yeah.
It's just a nerf because she is the best option in this current stale TDM meta.
Yeah.
She's just, it's her job, and unfortunately everybody wants to do that job. And there is no reason to pick the R4C over the G36. I want there to be options. I want to see Twitches running the F2 instead of the 417 or the SQ or the CQB. I want to see people running the LMGE instead of the 762. I want to see people using whatever the numbers and letters are for the Russian LMG
No,
on Finka.
6B41.
Yeah, that thing. I'm
You
gonna
can also
trust that.
you
I'm
can
gonna
also call it
trust in it.
the PKP Pecheneg.
The
Um,
PKP
yeah, PKP 6B41, whatever. In any
or
case, all those options that you just listed, all of those beautiful, wonderful guns that I've had so much fun in with the past, fucking suck right now, and that is why the G36E is being nerfed to also fucking suck.
but that's
Because
what I'm saying.
I
Stop
know,
nerfing the G36, buff everything else.
I know what the problem is.
I want to live in a we buff society. I don't want to live in a we nerf society. We buff.
I mean,
If everyone's powerful, nobody's powerful, and that's a lot more fun.
I
That's
think that
incredibly reductive, I know, but I think it'd
specifically,
be more fun.
I'm just saying specifically Ash's issue is the 1.5. I think that just makes it powerful in any
Yeah.
case on any gun. That's why it got taken away from the R4C. That's why it got taken away from the G36C. And then when 1.5s got added, that's why it was only put on the G36C instead of the R4C.
See, here's the thing.
Whenever they both have one times, I always feel more comfortable using the G36C, while the rest of the meta seems more comfortable using the R4C.
I
At that point, it's choice,
At
which I
this
think is healthy
point
for her.
too, the more that I think about it, the more I honestly I'm beginning to have a take. I think maybe, just maybe, this is half baked. This idea is half baked. I don't have any justification for it.
You're
This is a
scaring
gut
me.
feeling.
Okay, shit.
I think Ash having the 1.5 on the G36 is fine
Ugh. Ugh.
because
Ugh.
like again, this Ash's prevalence right now only really exists because she's the best option. Like I still think that instead of taking away things from operators, I think that taking
Well,
time to make other options better than Ash, like I want to see Zophs, dude. I want to
okay,
see more
but
Zophs.
take it back to Shadow Legacy when the 1.5s got added, and then whatever the next season was that added those sites for basically everybody. Remember how powerful some of the options were. The G36C has been powerful since then, and that's mainly because, well, yes, all the other assault rifles also kind of sucked. The 36C specifically just works better specifically for Ash. I think that the 1.5 could be fine on Yana if it was also in the ARX, because at that point it's an option. You know,
Fire rate, fire rate and controllability over
damage.
boom boom, you're dead.
Exactly. And that was the Yana that was always more fun to me. But if I play Yana now and I try to use the ARX, I'm effectively nerfing myself.
I'm crying. I can't see anything.
I know, right? I'm just working with a hollow, and I'm like, this is getting me one
I
frag,
still
but
think that it's backwards that the heavy hitting guns don't have magnification, but the fast firing ones do.
uh, I like it more when the heavy hitters have that magnification. I also like it when they have a little bit more recoil, and I think that is something the ARX could do with. I think a very very slight tweak and a little bit more recoil, but I think that's what they did a few ago.
I feel like they did that already.
Because I use it two times on Nomad
Like I feel
sometimes,
like there's a
and it
reason
feels
we don't
odd.
see people using the ARX, and I'm starting to wonder if that reason has more to do with the ARX maybe sucking, and rather than the G36 being that much better.
Yeah, they did nerf the recoil a while ago, but
I feel like I
it
used
feel
to see a lot of ARX Ianas, and then I suddenly saw nothing but G36, and it may have coincided with a nerf.
I challenge you, after we uh, end recording for today, to play a little bit of ARX 1.5 and see how it feels.
Okay.
Whether you're playing Yana or Nomad. I love it on Nomad a lot.
I think I run ARX Nomad.
Yeah, because the AK is fucking goofy. Still can't run a vertical grip in this day. Because I mean, look at the model of the gun. They'd have to add a Picatinny rail in order to do it, or make an entirely new gas block for it.
I mean,
Not gas
they.
block. Gas block. Oh,
I
yeah, right.
mean, there is an ARX with a forward grip. Yana has it.
No.
Doesn't the ARX have a
ARX.
forward?
So, Nomad specifically, she has a vertical grip. The AK, the 74, has no
Oh, you're
vertical
talking about
grip.
the AK. I thought we were still
Yeah.
talking about the
No,
ARX.
no, 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 no. Yeah, no, that motherfucker is smooth under the barrel.
Yeah.
It needs a Picatinny rail. In any case,
Yeah, she'd need a new. She'd need a.
yeah, no, I love playing Nomad with the 1.5. You watched me play Nomad recently and fragged the fuck out with her because she's just
Played a
really
lot
fucking
of
good.
Nomad lately.
I do think that the ARX is fine. I redact my earlier statement of thinking it needs a buff because it really doesn't, because it got a nerf if you.
Stop
Um,
nerfing guns.
in any case, 1.5, yes. G3060 Yana 1.5, sure. Because you know what? Right now, they're not going to go back on the recoil change. You might as well take it as it is.
Yeah.
Well, it
If
sucks.
we've learned
But yeah,
anything from the Frost rework, they don't give a shit what we think.
they really don't. They only look at their values and go, you know, what's better for these
I don't even know what data they were looking at
I
for
don't
that.
fucking know. They were just looking at, oh, hey, I landed in a frostbat. I can't do anything. Um, we should nerf this. I should be able to get up. You know, my leg being fucking broken by a bear trap. I should just be able to get out of that. Should we change anything about being shot a few times and then getting up? Oh, what? No, fuck that. I don't care
Yeah,
if I get
people.
shot by a few 9 mils in the arm. I'm on my ass.
Yeah, attackers looking like frickin' Kali, who doesn't wear armor. Amaru doesn't wear armor. Maverick doesn't wear armor.
Really doesn't.
Um, I think everybody else wears armor.
Pretty much everybody else.
Pretty much everybody else wears armor.
Yeah.
Defense is much worse.
Fucking Cade.
If we want to talk about people who aren't wearing any armor, let's talk about Cade
If Cade was
and
actually young,
how
he would be
he's
a
a
3-speed.
3 armor.
He's just he has the Roadhog gut.
He's got that Roadhog HP. He's got no armor. He's just got beef.
Anyway, we're now 40 minutes in. So quick
Yeah.
summary on what we just talked about because it was a lot of rambling.
Yeah.
The G3060 shouldn't really be nerfed. I think personally that Ash shouldn't have a 1.5, but that's specific to her. I think that Yana is fine. I think it just fits Ash's identity better to not have it because, you know, she should be in there. Combat sites suit her. It's basically an SMG fight at that point anyway. In any case, other operators clearly need weapon buffs, especially if they have multiple attacking weapons. Finka is in an odd spot because of her, you know, higher spot on the attacking delta. I think that the spear itself is fine. The recoil in there from a while ago sucks, but that was mainly for Thunderbird anyway. I think that Finka is just too effective with frags. Um, but in any case, the LMG fucking blows.
Mm-hmm.
I think that a a slight tweak to the to just all of the LMGs to make them a little bit less recoil having, except for like the fucking T95. I think the Alda's fine as well. I think those, but everything else should be toned down just a little bit. Amaru is high on the wind delta, but kind of low in presence just because of her, you know, identity as actually getting the fuck in there.
Oh, she gets in there much harder than anybody else.
Yeah, I think Amaru specifically should be capped off to 1.5s and less.
Yeah.
Because having a having a fucking
Amaru's
ACOG on that
fine
thing is
also.
interesting. Amaru is fine.
Amaru is
I don't think she
completely
should really be
fine.
changed at all. In any
I think
case,
that low presence is that low presence but high win rate
it suits her.
literally comes down to it's a Maru and we're in round 4. Let's get a little spicy, and then it works.
Also, most Amaros that get fragged by nowadays are using supernovas anyway. So,
Yeah.
but look at fucking Jackal. Look at fucking Buck. They're played a lot,
Mhm.
sure. That's why they're up in presence. They have really good gadgets. Their abilities, or not their abilities. I just said their guns. Jackal really only has the PDW because that 50 round mag SMG fire rate, lower damage, but I mean just run an extendo and it's fine.
It's fine.
But the C70 is just odd. It really has nothing going for it.
I
It's
don't
kind of
like
lame.
it.
I don't
I
like
think
it either.
it's an okay rifle. It's
Which
just that I don't like using it
I've
over the SMG.
I have never liked playing Jackal. It's
Also,
just eh.
I resent that that Buck call out. I think that the safer work is a great gun.
It would
I
be
think
great if I
I
could
think
put a
you
vertical on
run
it.
I think you run 1.5 on it and you can frag out all day.
I run 1.5 flash hider. I can frag out, but it's a lot tougher to do so than Dixie.
Yes, but
Um,
I think that all assault rifles should just be like G36 level.
yeah, that's what I think too. I think that the 5.56 is fine. B308 is fine. L8s are fine. Uh, safer work should be. I think it should. It's not that it should even be better. It's that I would like to see it on another operator who can use a vertical grip on it.
Hmm.
Because like with the KMRS, that thing was fucking life changing. It's still good on Buck, of course, but using it on Bravo with fucking vertical, it's like no recoil. Insane. It's just
Hmm.
that the current climate isn't really great for DMRs. I do still love DMRs though.
I still do love using them.
Type 89 is fine where it is solely because if it had a bigger mag size and that's the only change you would really need to make to it, it would be really good.
And people have been begging for that for a
Begging and
long
begging and
time.
begging.
Type 89 is a good gun, but
F90 is held back because gridlock fat. Um, Flores with his AR-33. AR-33 is fine. I don't
yeah,
think it really
33
needs
has
any big
always been
change.
a good gun.
It's just
It's just
again,
on.
Flores doesn't fit that the fucking it doesn't fit Siege right now to be a drone operator like with Brava
Oh
or with Gridlock.
man,
I know.
Lexi, are you gonna throw up?
Oh, cat.
I think she went no 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 or something. There, she made a weird noise.
Oh well. Sens is
Yeah,
currently the
I think
least
she's gonna
picked
throw up.
attacker. Which just comes down to their gadget being fucking odd. They really need to look at the fucking uh ROU and fix its fucking hitbox because Jesus fucking that thing. I don't know how they made it fat. It was supposed to roll under doorways, right? That was always the thing it
Yeah,
was supposed to do. It fucking doesn't. That thing just bounces the fuck back. It's stupid. It's also circle shaped for some reason rather than being flat circle shaped. It is completely fucking spherical, so it just bounces off of fucking anything. I hate it. The Scar, Blackbeard. Ugh. We'll
they're
talk
never
about
gonna.
he
They're
hasn't
never gonna do it. They're
he has
never
an
gonna buff him.
episode coming for him about yeah, as well as Knock about why they both
They're the
fucking
worst
suck.
operators in the game.
In any case, really, it boils down to actually most of the ARs are fine. I think it's just that Ash and Yana specifically are too fast. I think that
Well,
Yana might need just a different option. 36. I think that maybe
I couldn't give you
I
an
think
example of a good gun for her.
I just think that maybe they should switch it out for something else. Maybe even like a shotgun, and then take away the Gon 6. I don't
I
know.
like her with the Gon
We
6.
can we can talk about Yana more specifically in a different thing because this episode is mainly focused on Ash so far. But
Yeah.
that's
But
mainly because also we're rationalizing why we ban her every match.
you know, all of this talk about the current meta, current climate of the game,
TDN meta. How do
TDN
you
meta.
counter it?
How is it that one would counter it? Well,
How do you, the defender, choose the tools to counter all of these wonderful, wonderful, evil, fucking stupid two bitches that are
You
leading
know,
our current metas?
a lot of people currently I see the kind of operators that they're running with. I see people playing Azamis. Azami is pretty popular. I see people playing freaking Warden, 1.5, and they spawn peek, get killed, and sit on their phone for 2.5 minutes. I'm
You're
seeing
you're not
we see
doing anything.
Soleases. We see a range of people, but
You're if you're playing that Solis, you're playing downstairs, you're looking up, you're always waiting, waiting, waiting. You need to let them get in, the diffuser's down, and then also you're the last fucking person left.
I
It's
think the solution
yeah.
is in traps.
The
See,
solution is in the prevention of them ever getting in there in the first place. It's not, oh, let's kill them after they've set their shit. No.
you see, Siege has always been an objective-based game, and preventing them from getting to the objective is probably the best way of succeeding.
Defending is the best strategy to defending.
Yeah,
Fun
like,
fact.
in this current day and age, there are people out there that are much better at the game than me.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna deny. I'm not gonna pretend that I'm the best guy. I'm the best gamer.
I
I'm
like
not gonna pretend that I have a positive KD. I'm pretty sure it's point 0.9 right now.
that.
But I tell you what isn't point 0.9, my win loss,
Hmm.
because I don't play for frags. I don't play to peak because I know I'm gonna die. If I
You
challenge somebody, I'm probably going to die because my gunplay isn't as good.
he plays statistically, based off of these fucking charts that we really shouldn't be looking at anyway because they're bad. He plays statistically the worst operator in Siege. That is his fucking main.
I
Lick Loosh.
main clash, and you see, it all comes down to time.
Hmm.
Why would I peak you on a fair fight?
Taking away the moments that take up the dull day, right? Like fucking god. We'll start today in our traps such because that is really how you should be playing. You should be playing to deny that, rush meta. You should make
Mhm.
these people actually decide to play Siege, run out everything.
Yeah.
Really use that IQ gadget. Let them fucking know.
Let them know. Let
We'll
them play Siege.
we'll start today with our set and forgets, starting with probably he's like one of the most banned defenders right now, right?
Yeah, he is one of the most banned, if not the most banned
Which is
currently.
weird because
Right up
his
there with Fenrir.
his win loss is stupid fucking low. Capcan.
Mhm.
That boy, I love Capcan. First off, I've always loved Capcan. He's
Yeah.
always been one of my
Capcan
favorite
is
defenders.
reliable.
In any case, they've been nerfing him recently with either 1.5 nerfs. I think they nerfed the VSN just in general.
I think they touched recoil or something.
Pretty
I think
sure.
I know what you're talking about, but
I
I
think
I couldn't
I,
tell
I
you.
feel like they did, but I'm not completely sure. In any
Yeah.
case,
I couldn't tell you when it happened,
they
but I
decided to
feel like it happened.
they decided to tweak him again to give him a bulletproof camera, which, like Ash, does not fit his kit. I think that if they
I
wanted to take away his fragability and give him something better for his kit, something more Capcan identity, give him back the barbed wire he had in like year two.
Yeah.
That helps. Um, in any case, Capcan, Frost, Legion, and Thorn are your set and forget operators. You set
Yep.
these down to deal damage, maybe even get a pick or two, and eventually even use as intel if you remember where all your stuff is, like a good
Mhm.
trap user.
Yep.
Legion
A
obviously can
a
be hard.
great legion knows exactly where every single one that he's placed is. Every single goo is a proximity alarm.
Hmm. That is why I
And
stacked like four goos in one place and then let the let the tower crumble. Because it is fucking funny to hear. It sounds like fucking glass breaking. I'm like, oh,
cre-
they just hit
create
something funny.
watches the bell tolls.
And then slowly step around the angel of death yourself. with your fish
With a
slapper
bitch.
and slap him with that motherfucking thing
I love it.
and immediately kill them because 612 SD is one of the best shotguns.
It is. But
Um,
uh,
Beautiful.
kill traps,
Right.
these set and forgets. Capcan recently, a couple seasons ago, he got his ultimate buff where he could stack them and you can instantly kill people.
Like the
That's
olden
huge.
days when
Like
he had
the
a
olden
laser
days.
still.
Lesion, he deals damage, periodic damage, forces you to take a step back and remove the issue, only to find that within your path, because the Lesion saved all of them, is like 5 more goo mines, and you don't know where they are because they're all around corners. Frost, she got nerfed. Don't know why, but
It's odd.
uh, her nerf aside, you play those mats, that's a kill, that's a pick.
Hmm.
If people know there's a Frost on the board, at that point it's even psychological. Nobody's just jumping into windows anymore. Everybody has to drone that window. Everybody has to look down and shoot at that window. It's not so simple as just getting in there anymore.
Then you have
Frost gives you pause. And
Thorn.
Thorn is like Legion and Capcan put together.
I will say, Thorn is not good as a solo trapper. Um, she might be able to get one pick, but the best way for you to play Thorn is specifically to have your wire and then have multiple Thorn devices set up for one push.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's gonna be the best bang for your buck. If you have two Thorn charges set in, let's think yellow hallway of basement consulate,
Right in my head.
into garage.
Mm-hmm.
I love setting up little temples of doom
Yep.
because Jesus Christ, it's fucking great. You have the Thorn charges set up. You have them fucking ready to take her out or anyone out, not her. And it's good. It keeps them away for a little bit and may even get a kill, which should be your focus.
Yeah.
Um, I will say the best way to play Thorn and the best way to set your traps, in my point of view, is to have your Thorn charges somewhat hidden between two sets of barbed wire. That way, they've already pushed through some wire, and they have to traverse through more to get away from it. It can also
I think
break
it's
the
even
wire
less
and give
than
you
that.
intel.
Every single one of these every single one of these kill trap operators, they each have like their secondary purpose.
Right.
You know, except for Capcan. Capcan is just basically strictly, I'm here to kill you.
Captain is
But
to get
Frost,
kills or to put people to half.
yeah,
Yeah.
Frost is it's just straight up entry denial because she's the only trap that stops you in your tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else, you can tank it,
Kind of.
but with Frost, you now have to allocate time and resources to getting your buddy out of the trap, or one person that's alone, they're now at 20 HP. That's a one tap for basically everything except for like a vector at max fall off.
And then the other difference between Frost and these other three beautiful trap operators is that Frost's is the only one that can only be destroyed by Fenrir or not Fenrir, Flores, or shooting it itself, which makes you
Mhm.
look down, look away from the people that will be peeking you whenever you push in.
But Thorn specifically is displacement.
Mm-hmm.
I think that putting another effective way of using Thorn is to think about where the attacking team is going to be pushing, and you want to put the Thorn in a disadvantageous position to where when they want to push, they have to overextend. One of the tricks that I picked up watching Gregor in one of his videos, he's talking about Thorn, and what I got in my head is shit, I'm forgetting maps. Um,
Is it one we see a
uh,
lot?
it's one of the ranked maps. R6 ranked maps. I can't believe that I can't remember what
Uh,
it's
Oregon Coastline
called.
Cafe, fucking clubhouse, bank, Bravo. Wait,
Villa.
Villa. That's
So
the
I'm
one.
thinking I'm thinking second floor,
Study or
second
master?
floor study,
Yeah.
and there's that balcony, and there's the room that leads from the balcony, and that's where a lot of pushes happen, right?
Balcony into study into aviation.
Yes.
There's aviation and game room. Game room is the big one with the bar and the billiards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh, so inside of that office, if you take down part of the desk, you can hide the trap inside of it. And when they push up to peek the doorway, they'll have to push forward a little bit more because that trap is pushing them forward. Because if they walk backwards, they might get caught by it. Made even more lethal if you put one above the door so they activate it. They have to choose now, do I keep going or do I step back and potentially somebody takes an angle and fries me next time I try? Well, if they decide to walk further in, the one at the desk gets them. And now they have to choose, okay, do I fall back into the one they don't have an option.
Yeah.
They
Um,
either have to push straight in or they just die.
this is also another thing about combining Thorn with these other trap operators. Um, Having Thorn, the best way to have her set up is to have her push into other traps. Say
Mhm.
for that entry into aviation, there's two cap traps waiting on that doorway.
Yep.
That's a free kill. Um, if you've got a Thorn set up in that desk, one by the couch, so they can't escape to the couch, and then make it maybe on the corner of the couch. That way it activates first, and then
Yeah.
even then they have to push all the way around. In any case,
Smooth as hell.
there's a lot of time being wasted there, and there's a lot of intel being gained for your beautiful defenders to go, hey, they're the fuck in there.
Yeah.
Also, we have a Valkyrie downstairs who's looking on cams and watching the chaos ensue and laughing on our ass and then prepping a nitro to throw it.
But
Yeah.
um other operators as well, you don't need to kill in order to get the victory. You
Yep.
know, it again, this is an objective-based game and they keep taking time away from, the casual scene anyways, so might as well play time since we don't have a lot of it. That's where the time operators come in. The all of them, threatening damage. You have Smoke, Goyo, Tachanka, and we're gonna throw a Rooney in here as well
Yeah. We'll also go
because
more into
each of
anti-entry with Castle as well, because we're
yeah,
also going to be.
and we'll also talk about him. But you know, Smoke, Goyo, and Tachanka, they all fulfill basically the exact same role. They just all three of them go about it in a different way. They're all area denial with the threat of damage. Chunky, he has his monstrosity
That
of
fucking thing
a fang. That poor Mosin, whatever happened to it?
that actually exists and
And
it's
it actually
disgusting.
exists. That is not a gun that was made up. That is an ancient Slavic technological nightmare
That is
that
something they
does
threw together
exist.
in World War II and decided we really shouldn't produce this.
We shouldn't have.
This shouldn't be here. Just like the
uh
actual impact grenade that's used in Siege, the softball, that thing was not produced.
yeah. Goyo, he's a set and forget, and I really
Kind
do
of.
mean forget sometimes because
It
those
shouldn't be forget.
it shouldn't be forget,
Goyo
but
fits the thorn bill of needing someone else. We talked about it last episode how you should always be pairing with Capkin or Castle. That still stands true, so we won't dig into it
yeah, we
more.
won't go too deep into Goyo. We talked about that last episode.
If you want to learn about it, watch the last episode.
Smoke is the most reactionary of them. Uh,
Smoke is the one you have to face check with, or at least put in an advantageous place for them not be able to. But
yeah,
also, you can sit inside your trap. Chunky, Goyo,
exactly.
everybody else cannot do that.
Yep, not a lot of people are immune to fire,
But one person is Smoke. And it
and
is
it's mum.
Smoke.
we're bringing in Aruni and Castle into here as well. They are time wastes. Aruni,
Different
uh,
flavor, but
Aruni is
still
in a different
same
flavor than
idea.
Castle, but whereas Castle is strictly on doors and windows, it's harder to get rid of. You
Mhm.
have to allocate gadget use or a lot of time and a lot of sound to get rid of a castle barricade. It is
And
not an insignificant amount of time to punch a barricade down.
it is also really helpful for castle players. Sure, you have someone with a nitro, you know, your buddy, your pal with the nitro cell. If you hear that window start getting punched, use the nitro. Don't even actually blow the nitro. Just set it on the door and make them fear. The exact
'Cause
same thought
they'll hear
of
the rip and
Smoke
they'll
Goyo
hear the beat.
Tachanka. And then they will get the fuck off of that.
Yeah, you just want them to be scared. Uh,
This hey, real quick, does barbecue window exist anymore on skyscraper?
barbecue.
I don't
Mm,
I don't think it exists anymore.
there's a window that leads into the hallway, but not into the objective.
There used to be a window to the outside for
Yeah, they got rid
barbecue.
of that window a long time ago.
I guess when they reworked it, that's wild.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
exactly what I was
they got
thinking
rid of the
of.
barbecue one. Yeah, no, the only windows that lead into barbecue
There are no
is
windows now. It's all
well,
barricade
there
or
are
all
no
doors.
windows.
Yeah,
The closest to windows is kitchen window
yeah. There's
and the hallway window by the stairs.
yeah, and then your doorways are obviously doorway to kitchen, doorway to bar, and then door
And I guess there's also
hallway by stairs.
technically the bathroom window. If they take down the wall, they can look into objective from there. But
They should be
that's
reinforcing that
why I
anyway.
always reinforce it.
Yep. In any case,
In any case, yeah.
yeah,
Whereas, Castle is more static but harder to get rid of. Aruni is far more flexible. She can put them on hatches, she can put them on walls, put them on rotates. She can also put them on doors and windows, and you can see through it. You can walk through it. It's easier to get rid of. You can throw a drone into it. You can use any projectile gadget like a smoke, or if you're Zofia, you could throw a stun into it. I guess
yeah. Or
ash
I mean, even
charges.
if you feel like wasting the impact, it's really just a matter of Aruni is waste one thing,
Yeah,
decide one
you
thing to
have
sacrifice.
to waste something to get through it,
It's the chess
but
game
you
again.
can
Use the
waste
pawn.
a lot more things on it.
Yep.
It's easier to get rid of, but there's the threat of, oh, half my health is missing because I decided to face check the Aruni gate.
It's 30.
It
Pretty sure.
hurts.
I'm pretty sure it's 30. It's still chunks. Like that's getting
Yeah,
shot by slightly weaker G36.
yeah.
That's
Like
getting shot by the
that's
SPS
one
MG9 once.
that's one bullet off of a time to kill.
Yep.
And
And
that matters.
if you're a 3 speed, that puts you at 70 health, which puts you in death range of one two barrel bullet and one legion,
Yeah.
which those are apparently really hard for people to see. Which is fair, they're small.
And the with all of these time wasters, the intent isn't for the time waster to peak. The whole reason that it's there is because, Goyo, 20 seconds gone with a single detonation. Smoke, he has a total of 40 seconds
30.
that he 30?
30. Three
30.
traps, 10 seconds each.
Three traps. I'm silly. 30
Yeah.
seconds where he can deploy it instantly anywhere that he wants as long as he can lob it there. Chunky,
It's
he
all
has like
multiples of
what?
5. It's I think he has 20 grenades. Each have 5 seconds of fire, so 100 seconds total. 100,
That
80,
is
30.
that
Chunky
is a
Goyo smoke.
lot of time gone.
Yep.
And when the entire team has decided, the entire team, let's say Oregon, and we're on second floor, and they all wanted to, we're in bedroom,
Yep.
and they all wanted to go up the stairs. They all wanted to go up white,
White staircase. Yeah.
and they wanted to go straight in. One Tachanka says, no, are you gonna stand there for 100 seconds?
No.
Even more realistically, let's say let's just say like 60 seconds because he's shooting a couple at a time. Are you gonna stand at that place for 1 whole minute with your entire team with your thumb up your ass? No,
Nope,
you're gonna go
because
elsewhere.
you know what I'm doing? I'm playing Ash, actually. And I feel like just running through it because fuck that fire. It doesn't mean anything. Tachanka still has this stupid fucking thing out, so I'm just gonna run in and fucking kill him real quick. And you know what happens then? Then I can't see anything because I've run into our next thing, Fenrir. And the
Peak trap.
sound debuff squad.
Yep.
Melusi, Ella, Fenrir, Tubarão.
These 4 operators are great for those confident, let's call them,
Yeah.
operators, those confident players that think that the damage doesn't matter. I don't care if I took 80 damage running through that fire. All I need is 1 bullet. Well, the issue is that the Malusi wub is now telling everybody where you are. The Ella mine makes you blind. The
The
Fenrir
Tachanka,
mine makes you blinder.
to be fair, the Tachanka does still have his thumb up his ass, but he's quickly getting that
Fuck.
thumb out of there and putting it around the grip of his DP-27. While you still can't see anything, you
Yep.
are also concussed. It is also just kind of hell. Honestly, if you run a squad up Tachanka, Malusi, Ella, Fenrir, Tubarão, that could be scary.
That's
That could be
scary.
fucking awful.
Next time we get the stat going,
think we should
let's
do
run that.
we
Let's
should do a little
experiment
bit of
a
that.
little.
I think Tubarão is a good flex operator for it. I think that he's not really integral for it. He's
Yeah.
just kind of a good time waster for specifically the hard reach.
You know,
Anyway,
Tubby, he's going to be getting. Did he get nerfed already?
he already
Did
did.
that nerf
Yeah,
go through?
it
Okay,
happened.
so Tubby did get nerfed. He lost one of his canisters. He's only got 3 now.
There's also the shit around the Maverick tech and also the like 4 seconds of insulation. Oh wait, 1.5 seconds of insulation.
hmm
It's something like that.
It is,
Yeah,
but like Tubby, that's still 36 seconds. That's still 36 seconds. That if you want to peak that angle, you're gonna be at a disadvantage both visually, audibly, and your movement speed as
everything.
well.
All of your shit is
Yeah,
turned off. If
everything.
you're running anything under a 1.5, your sight will be turned off. Fun fact.
hmm
And also your laser.
hmm
So you effectively are kind of blind. As long as you know where the middle of your screen is, you'll be okay. But even then, he's likely already peaking the angle anyway. And while you're confused by all the shit that's happening to you, your head is gone because he has an AR-15 or MPX.
MBX. Fenrir is
I think.
Fenrir is the same way. Fenrir doesn't really have any good counterplay.
Mhm.
You know,
Well, kind of, sort of. I
you
will
have to
say
play Twitch or Brava.
you have to play a Twitch or a Brava, and then also IQ can help with that. But
That's two.
also,
That's at least one. That's at least one op dedicated solely to dealing with Fenrir,
mhm. But that's
and
also,
potentially 2 or more.
well, actually, never mind. Um, in any case, as long as you know where it is, even if you just drone it out, there are a lot of operators who have those impact EMPs, who have that Thatcher EMP. Well, there's one Thatcher that has that Thatcher EMP. But impact EMPs and drones are going to be your best counter to Fenrir,
Yeah,
as long as you
but
can see where
in
it
the current
is.
meta,
Yeah,
that's not a thing.
people
So
don't
they're
do that.
going
If
to
you want to
walk
play
into
Siege,
your Fenrir.
actually do that. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's why
Uh,
Fenrir is getting banned every match, is because people want to play that TDM meta.
He stops them dead in their tracks. Any I don't care how cracked you think you are. As soon as you hear that beep beep hiss, they're pressing the S key.
Yeah, we ban solely because we hate, or we actually want to play Siege. Um, we don't ban Fenrir because we know our counters. We just don't use them. I
Yeah.
personally need to be better about it, but even then, like, I know what the counter is. I know he's not overpowered if I really actually just apply myself.
Yeah, if you just apply
It's
Siege
fine.
gameplay to Fenrir, you can get rid of him. You can't really do that with Solis. as
Solis.
cool as Solis is, you can't do anything about her, but we already talked about that.
Yeah.
Ella Ella's been a staple for a long time.
She has, I think, only ever gotten nerfed. Um, which is fine because when she released, she was fucking insane. I still remember the hell of release Ella. I don't think anybody else in my friend group knows because I think anybody else played
I've
since then.
never I wasn't there.
The only the
I've
only
been
other
here since
person
Chimera.
the only other person who would know is fucking Michael, dude.
Mhm.
In any case, for those who don't know, when Ella first launched, she had 4 Grisma mines. She had another Grisma mine that she could use whenever she got downed.
EBNO mine.
Yep. And
Martyrdom
her
mine.
her Scorpion EVO had a 50-round magazine and
Mhm.
next to no recoil,
Mm.
along with a shit ton of fire rate. Like, I mean, the fire rate has never changed. I don't think the damage has also ever changed. It's always just been good fucking god. You have an LMG.
Yeah.
Uh, you have an LMG that uses 9 mil. Um,
Yeah, the
and
only things that they've ever really changed was they took away her DBNO martyrdom.
they took away one of her Gris
Took
mounts that
away
she can set.
yeah.
She now has a
She
40 round mag, and the Scorpion has had a lot more recoil since then, but has
oh
also been
yeah.
toned down a little bit more.
Yeah.
Use a compensator or
Apparently
a flash hider, you'll be okay.
yeah.
She's
Like
usable.
you can frag out with Ella now.
She's currently in the underplayed, but performing well.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think that just mostly comes
yeah,
down to, there
it's
is a
choice.
stigma for Ella because she used to be bad. Like she used to be great, then she got really bad. Now she's just, she's good.
She's fine. I think
She's an
she's
option.
fine how
She's
she
fine.
is. I don't think she
She
should be changed at all.
I think she's balanced. I've never been fried by an Ella and thought, "Man, that was unfair."
In any case, though, Ella is a weird part of the Trapper group because now, especially with Shield rework coming into play soon,
Mhm.
it has never been better to keep your Ella mines on you. You want to use those like smoke grenades because you want to have that option in case you want to be roaming with Ella, or even if you just find that shield, you want to have the option because those things are fucking fast. Um, and then they're really good against those shields, against those attackers.
Mhm.
They're good. They're very
Knock
flexible.
knock that shield out of the way and
But
fry him.
Lucy is tough, and we actually talked about Lucy, I think, a little bit last episode about how it's not good that she's fat because she has a lot of pre-round setup to do.
Yeah.
I do think that she needs a speed buff. I think it should be 2 speed,
Yeah.
and
I
maybe
think that's the only thing that needs to change
I think
about her.
that's yeah, I think that's the only change that really needs to happen. I mean, and I mean, look at Melissa. She is a fat ass with no 1.5.
Yeah. And she doesn't
Anyway,
have a 1.5. She used to have the T5, but now she has the MP5, right?
yeah, I
Yeah.
I don't. I think 2 T5s is just kind of problematic, but I don't even see Oryx play that
Well,
much
I'm not
anyway.
I'm
But
not I'm not suggesting like giving that back to her. I'm
yeah,
just
no,
trying to remember what her weapons are
yeah.
because you don't see Malusi's.
I just miss Oryx MP5. I liked it more.
Yeah.
In any case, I do know he is worse
But
than, which you don't want to look at those
no,
stats for him now.
these four operators, Malusi, Ella, Fenrir, and Tubarão, these are your peak traps. These are the traps that you set them, and whenever somebody falls for it, you peak it.
These ones
You
have
do
to work.
not,
Here, go
yeah,
ahead. Go ahead.
you do not want to take your fights fairly.
Hmm.
These four, they exist to make the fight really, really unfair because you didn't drone.
I I'll throw in all these traps. If you're looking to get frags mainly with the traps, do not use any of these guys alone. Definitely use any of
Mm,
them with that Tachanka, that smoke, that Goyo. Uh, well, probably not Goyo, but not too close to wherever your trap is because it could set off.
yeah.
In any case, any of these are a really good pick with Legion.
Yep.
Because the more the better, especially Melusi, because you can even try to sprint through the Melusi. I think it's
It
just
will
really
stop
slow.
you.
It will. Okay.
Yeah,
In any
Malusi
case,
will bring you to a walk.
Melissi brings you to a walk, but Legion will keep you in a walk. So it's definitely pair Legion with any of these picks. Honestly,
Yeah,
just always bring a Legion.
Legion's nice.
Legion's
There's a
great.
reason that he's pretty high on the
There's a
Dark
reason that
Knight.
he is currently the leader. Aside, actually, no, he's even leading Warden.
Yeah,
He's overpicked
Legion's
and
just a
stronger. I think Legion specifically, I don't think he should have impacts. I went over it last episode. I think he would be better with Wire, and that is where we'll end that.
yeah.
And now the two weird ones, which I wasn't really, we both really weren't sure if we
Yeah.
should put them on this list or not, but we'll talk about them anyway, just cause.
They fit into a couple of these. Alibi.
Mm-hmm.
Alibi, I think she fits into both time wasters and peak trappers
Mm-hmm.
because there are different ways that you use alibi. There's the primary function of, I put my alibi on a common angle and the tweaked out high schooler pre-fires the angle. They pre-fire the angle, they hit the alibi, they get pinged.
Now
But
I know where the high schooler is. Now it's up to the
yeah,
high schooler to either push through and keep on looking and use that intel as, hey, I'm here.
hey, I'm here,
Show
peek
me your
me,
head.
I'll fry you, I dare you.
I'm now thinking of a just for reference. I'm now thinking of Villa second floor game room. Say there's an alibi behind the bar.
Yeah. Hmm.
If that big wall is mainly untouched, and if there's one little rotate as alibi, you do not want to peek it from the rotate. You just want to try and shoot through the wall because
Yep.
that's the best way to do it.
Yep.
In any case, your best way to get away from the alibi to not do that is either to be more careful with your shots, which you can't always do because Siege is a game of reaction time. Um,
Hmm.
your best option then is to just walk away, but that plays into the time waster part of it.
Hmm. The other thing though is the peak trap. You can set alibis in on vaults. And say for instance, one that I see all the time. I'm thinking Outback. Uh Outback, the window in showers.
Yeah, just throwing a fucking Prisma there.
Just throwing a alibi right in front of it.
They have to walk in and shoot it like a
They
frost mat,
have to walk in.
which is
They
even
have
more
to.
lethal if you pair it with the frost mat, but also kind of not lethal for the frost mat because now they're already shooting at it anyway. But
Yeah.
they're also
But
looking down, they're taking these pings, you know more than fucking ever there's someone there.
oh yeah, because you jump in, it will ping you. Like
Mhm.
even if you shoot it, it's gonna ping you.
No matter what you do, you're getting pinged, boy.
So that gives you the intel. That gives you intel,
Unless you waste
and
the
you can peek
resources.
that.
But
Yeah, they have to
yeah.
waste resources or time if they want to get rid of it.
Even
Otherwise,
then, you have to be careful not to hit it at all, or else someone will know.
yeah. So you can force an interaction there with alibi. You can use alibi in a flexible position, either as a time waster or as something to force an interaction so that you have an advantage when you peek.
Yep.
And I I see alibi pretty often,
I see all of
but
it kind of often, but I mean,
I feel
she's
like people
been.
could be more creative with her.
Yeah, people usually just set and forget him and then just play for the MX4.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's why she's strong right now, but that's why she's not picked a lot. It's because people don't know
Yeah.
how to play her creatively. And there are better choices than the MX. You know,
Yeah.
it's good. And
And
then our last person, our last man is Wamai.
my
Um,
see,
yeah,
my he kinda kind of fits all three of the trappers
pretty much.
because it depends on what they decided to throw at you.
It depends on where you're putting your Wamai, what they're throwing at you. It depends on a lot of different things. However,
Yeah.
I think Omai is best used whenever you're setting ticket down to my favorite place to play Omai, which is basement server on bank.
Yep.
Right outside of the main objective. That's I don't actually know.
Server.
The one next to server. It's not called server.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the call out for like the room.
No.
I
The
don't
one.
remember what that one's called. I know what you're talking about.
Whatever. The room into
Bank
objective.
basement.
Bank basement server room by the tunnel. That is my favorite place to place those motherfuckers, and I will place them all away from the door. I will place them around the room, but there's a nice little lip right by the wall that looks down wherever mirrors usually set up. Like if you go behind that little server that's poking out where people like to hide behind, if you go behind there, set up your hard reach. If you're playing Ace, that is tough to do when I place my Wamais there because I am silly.
I love that. I
I
love
place
when
like
you pull that off.
I placed two of them on that lip, and then Ace will not be able to break through, and that's
I
awesome.
I I love when we're playing bank, you hit that, and I just hear two consecutive whirs as the ace just throws everything and all of it gets caught. And I just know that they're staring at the Wamai disc just doing nothing.
Right?
And they're just really upset about it.
They're not even looking at the One My disc. They're like, "Wait, what the fuck just happened?" And then they see the One My disc, and they're like, "Oh, I see.
And
I've been
nine
Rainbow
times out
Six
of
Sieged."
yeah, 9 times out of 10, they face check the doorway out of anger and they get fried.
And then also you're in there, and you're playing Clash,
And I'm
and they're
only
taking
playing
5 ticks
Clash.
per. They're taking a lot of tick damage.
Taking a lot of tick damage. It's very funny.
Another anti-entry thing application for OMI is for Ash charges.
Hmm.
You set them in a place where they can see the doorway. As long as they can see that doorway, they will deny the Ash charge and just suck it up. Just fucking eat it. Awesome. Uh,
Hmm.
they are also good for, well, kind of good for setting forgetting. I mean, you could set the bitch, and then
High traffic areas.
yeah,
I tend to use Wamai's pretty reactionary. I've been playing Wamai more often myself. You've been seeing that. I don't know if you've noticed, but I have been playing him more.
kind of sort of yeah.
I like Wamai because he's neat, but he wastes time because he resets the timer, and you're not going to push the flashbang that just got reset on. You're not going to push the flashbang that just got caught and reset. You're just not. You're going to stand there for the next like 2-3 seconds. And yeah, that doesn't sound like much, but the encounter has been reset back to neutral. And you got to decide what to do next with one less gadget, one less flashbang. And then for other things like, Wamai can uniquely deal with operators like Capitao, Gridlock. Um, Wamai is really good right now when paired with Mira because of the changes they made to Ash and Kali being able to destroy the glass with their gadgets.
Yeah.
Uh, what Wamai can take those, use them elsewhere.
Well, I can also
You can
steal
hide them.
Gone 6 charges. Jaegers can also deal with them,
Yeah,
but yeah, the added effect of the tinnitus still happening is pretty cool whenever it's happening in the vicinity of the attackers.
yeah, that's
Uh,
nice.
the biggest thing against Wamai is that they're obvious, and Wamai's weapon choices are not my favorite. I like the MP5K. I've aced with it before on Wamai. I like that as a 1.5 on him. I still think it's weird that it's not on mute, but mute is actually decent on the chart, so I'm not gonna talk about it.
Yeah, it's fine.
In any case,
Weirdly enough.
I do not like the way the AUG fucking performs because it's one of those sword rifles I forgot to fucking go over earlier.
Oh
That thing,
yeah,
they
because
nerfed it
it's
a few seasons ago and it
so
fucking
dog
sucks. It's
water.
just not
It's so
good.
dog water. It takes up half your freaking screen.
I hate the fucking AUG A2, dude. I wish they would
Like
just change the fucking
using
model.
using the AUG is like putting duct tape over your rear view and right side mirror on your car and going on the highway.
Honestly, it's fucking awful. Like that thing takes so much of the fucking screen. You just can't see your right side at all. And even then, like actually using it, actually firing your bullets, I need more bullets, commander, better weapons.
Commander.
I.e., the AUG 2 is the worst fucking weapon you could be using because it's big. It just doesn't have good recoil. It used to be good. I used to like it on Wamai for defense because it was another assault rifle pick. I thought it was interesting. Now it's
Mhm.
just clearly bad.
and the site picture is just fucking terrible because
Horrible.
it's so big.
And then you have B12 and Kratos, which are both great options.
Yeah,
But
both of those are
also,
great, terrific guns.
with my your only rotation option at that point is Vex, which I think is fine for his kit. I don't think he needs a gun or anything. Well, even if he did have a
Pro tip
shotgun,
to anybody playing
I wish it was
Wamai.
primary.
Pro tip to anybody playing Wamai, or just anybody that is using a revolver. Use the revolver to make head holes.
Mm-hmm.
You can assist a little bit with sight setup. You can make footholes. You can make head holes. You can make peaks. The takes like 2 or 3 shots depending on what you're using.
And how close you
LFP
are.
is
Yeah.
3. The Kerados is 2, I believe.
I think the
It's something
Kratos is
like
always
that.
punched like a little bit harder as far as wall
Yeah,
destruction is gone.
Kerados punches a little harder, I think.
In any
But
case,
you can
it's good.
set up your small angles. You're not going to be making any rotates, but
That's okay.
you know what you
Someone
can
else should
do?
have a secondary shorty anyway. If that Legion is always there like he always should be, he'll have a
Yeah,
shorty.
yeah,
Hopefully.
he'll have at least one, hopefully.
Yeah, either the fish or the shoddy. Um, but yeah, uh, that's really all we wanted to cover. Well, Maya is a solid choice. All of these are really solid choices. Um,
Yep.
for defense, defense has a
Okay.
lot of good operators to play. Attack, just not. But we will talk
Yeah,
about that more in a future
we
episode.
can talk about that more later. But to summarize, the TDM meta, it exists.
It's unfun.
It's unfun to play against, but I tell you what, the traps have always been here.
Mm-hmm.
The utility never left. All you have to do is put a little thought forward. And I think with that, can end today's episode.
I want to say it. I want to say it. I want to say it.
You want to say it?
I want to say it. You got to say it last
All
episode. I
right.
thought it was so good.
I did.
Yeah, with that, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll get with you next week. Bye bye.